they go to be lauded for their performances.
Yep.
And to have Will Smith behave in this manner. He's talking about, you know, disrespecting everybody, but he's protecting his wife. Well, where was her protection of a man when she was at the red table talking about what she was doing with this entanglement? Where was her protection of her husband? Chris Rock is a comedian. What comedians do, they can do this better than anybody else. They can take a real life situation and make it funny. That's what comedians are. Comedians take situations, and that's why I say, we up here all the time, Skip, I say there's truth in jokes.
Ugh.
That's what they do.
There's the most truth in jokes.
He walks up on stage. What he should have done is what DC Young Fly did last year when somebody came up on the stage and whipped him. Because, see, this is going to be out there for perpetuity. But also would have been out there for perpetuity. I'd have come up out that tux. I'd have whipped Will Smith ass.
Well, I know you.
I would have whipped, he'd have had to whip me or I'd have had to whip him. And every time I see him, it's on sight.
I was embarrassed for Will. I was horrified for Chris Rock. I mean, Will apologized to the Academy and he apologized to his colleagues and the other nominees, but he didn't apologize to Chris Rock.
No.
And I thought Chris was the one that deserved an apology for taking the high road. He was slapped in front of millions of people internationally, and he took the high road in his response. I think that Will was immature. I think he was childish, and I think he was violent.
But people are rallying around Will,
which is surprising to me
Chris.
because I think that's something that we tell our children not to do. Right? Our children would be suspended from school for doing something like that. Use your words. I mean, he's a Grammy Award-winning rapper. Shouldn't he have been able to say something?
Well, he did.
Well, he was using expletives, though. And I think the other part of this is, you know, Will and Jada Pinkett Smith have lived publicly their whole lives. And when you live publicly, you do open up yourself to jokes. You open up yourself to commentary. Jada did shave her head on Instagram, said she was embracing her new look. They've talked openly about their open relationship, their open marriage. They've talked openly about Jada's affair with one of their children's friends on the red table, you know, La Mesa Roja. And I think that when that type of thing, when you live publicly, you don't have the right to all of a sudden decide to execute violence. And I have to say, that was a show of toxic masculinity. If he was offended and felt emasculated by Regina Hall's joke or by Chris Rock's joke, you don't act out in violence. That is not a show of love. That's a show of violence.
I was sickened. I was sickened by the standing ovation. I felt like Hollywood is just spineless, en masse. And it really felt like, oh, this is a really clear indication that we're not the cool club anymore.
There was some question today about if anyone else had walked from the audience and done that, they would have been escorted out by security or maybe even arrested. The police asked Chris if he wanted to file charges. They asked Chris, do you want to file charges? And Chris apparently said no, he did not.
He doesn't want the hassle. I'd have announced this morning that I was suing Will for $200 million because that video is going to be there forever. It's going to be ubiquitous. You know, that insult is going to last a very long time. If you want to yell from the audience and disapprove or show a disapproval or say something on Twitter or whatever, you know, you do not have the right to walk up on stage and smack somebody in the face because they said words.
No, I agree. I think we all agree on that. I just thought, Jim, that it escalated to that. You know what I mean? That it escalated to that level.
It didn't escalate. It came out of nowhere because Will has something going on inside him that's frustrated, and I wish him the best. I really do. I don't, you know, I don't have anything against Will Smith. He's done great things. But that was not a good moment. It cast a pall over everybody's shining moment last night. You know, a lot of people worked really hard to get to that place and to have their moment in the sun and to get their award for the really hard work they did. And it is no mean feat to go through all the stuff you have to go through when you're nominated for an Oscar. It's a gauntlet of devotion that you have to do. And you know, it was just a selfish moment that cast a pall over the whole thing.